Most advertisers are still wasting 80% of their budget testing Facebook ads the wrong way. They're buying multiple courses, getting multiple opinions. I want this to be the final video that you ever have to watch on how to test campaigns correctly to isolate real winners and scale your spend to upwards of $15,000 a day like I've been able to do. And with all of these algo updates in 2025 and new ones coming in 2026, every single button you click in Facebook could be costing you more and more, so pay attention to what I'm going to tell you today. Biggest things that changed in the algorithm in 2025 was interest testing, people opting out of tracking, and all the auction volatility as far as your cost per clicks and CTRs on the feed and CPMs. CPMs are one of the biggest levers and bottlenecks in most ad accounts that I see. Even when they're targeting broad, they still haven't dialed in the right copy and creative to dial down their CPMs and keep ad account health at an all-time high. And when you have lack of efficiency and you have poor testing strategies, your CPMs will go through the roof. You'll pay upwards of 2x to 3x for the same lead you could have gotten. So make sure you pay attention to what I'm going to tell you today. And the old versus new testing mindset, it's not about guessing and throwing shit against the wall and letting it stick. It's about testing competitively and efficiently. So here is a quick case study. Here is John Ayudis, okay? He was running campaigns using old testing strategies, getting upwards of 30, 40 bucks a lead. We changed it to this structure, and now he was seeing less than 20 bucks per lead. Simple tweaks, big reward. Here's another client, 36% increase in leads and 42% decrease in costs per lead. For the same avatar, same lead qualifications. Here's another client. Leads went up by 102%, and we dropped the cost per lead by around 35%. Taking his cost per leads from $20 a lead to $13. That can make a massive difference inside of your business as well. So here's how we build testing campaigns that actually beat the platform instead of fighting against it. So we're going to come down here to the whiteboard, and I'm going to break down for you all these notes that I took for you on scaling campaigns, budgeting, structure, how to move creatives and copy, and how to scale the spend and isolate winners to 15K a day in spend like I've been able to for myself and other clients. Okay, first things first is it's less about interests. Interests are dead. People are opting out of tracking when the interests tell you that there's 3 million people in it. There's really not 3 million people. A lot of people's cookies and cash get in the way of them popping up in interest, and behaviors in the algo is always changing. So someone who's in one interest one day will go to another one, another one. I depend on the ad copy to find the actual avatar. I go mostly broad, okay? It's more about creative now. If I'm going broad and I know my ad copy is doing most of my targeting, now it's more about creative testing more than ever. Having this revolving window and wheel of just creatives is going to help you drop your cost per clicks and CTR, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? More than ever with creatives, we're looking at dropping your cost per clicks like really low and getting click-through rates very high. That means you have a good resonance with the audience and it's hitting a certain pain point, and that ad is really clicking. Now it comes out of the landing page, which if you subscribe to the channel, I go through a lot of videos on funnels, obviously A/B split testing, landing pages, things like that. But this video is strictly advertising. Like I said before, CPMs are more important than ever. The ability to keep your cost per 1,000 impressions on the feed as low as humanly possible is going to separate you from an ad account that can spend, a couple $100 a day and someone that can spend 15K a day. Trust is affecting the current ad conditions. So when you are looking at your creative, focus on ways to build more trust in the copy, through case studies, through reasoning and infatuations to build more trust, because the trust recession is making click-through rates lower than ever. There's too many options on the feed. You have to stand out. Okay, the old way of testing was you would put an ABO campaign and you would just put 3 creatives against each other. Okay, you would have an ABO doing, $10 a day per ABO, creative 1, creative 2, creative 3. That's the old way. The new way is we just target broad on each ad set, and then we separate the 3 creatives still, but we're only doing broad on each. We're not doing ABOs with different interests, just like the old way. The new way is all broad, different creatives, because what can I find here? I can find a clear winner. I don't know which one's a winner yet, but once I find that winner, I can now isolate it and start scaling that spend. So if you're wondering what that more so looks like, here's the exact campaign framework that does this more in detail. So we have our campaign here. We have 3 ad sets: ad set 1, ad set 2, ad set 3. These are all ABO still, but they're not doing interest. We're just targeting broad. Okay, so ABO 1, okay, we have ABO 2, and then we have ABO 3, and they're all broad targeting. Now that I have C1, C2, and C3 isolated, this is going to allow me to find my winning creative. When you find a winning creative, what do I want you to do with it? Go get more made just like it. Go create more like it. Wear different clothes. Use different backgrounds. Maybe just change the hook in the beginning. The creative in the body of the CTA works. Just play with hooks and play with backgrounds and play with stories. That's the best way to scale creative. My ads have yet to change in 3-4 years. I found that winning creative, I doubled down on it, tripled down on it, and now I, fix 15x it. Now, what are some budgeting tips for having this campaign framework? Number 1 is ABOs should be set at the same budget up to X cost per lead. So, for example, I pay about $180 per booked call in my high ticket agency business. So what should my ad sets be set to? $180 per day. Okay. If you think that's a lot of money, it's not. What's a lot of money is you spending $10 a day and you got to wait 18 days to get a book call. We don't want to do that. It takes too long. So you got to spend the money, you got to pay to play. And if you know what your designated cost for call is or cost for lead in your industry, you can now beat the learning process a lot faster. Okay. Second is do not use Advantage Plus yet. Okay. Don't go right into the ad account and just put an Advantage Plus campaign in there because there's no data in the ad account. If you're looking to start with new testing, you have to pull proven data and scale upon it. Not what you think is going to work, what we know works, which is backed by numbers, not emotions. So now we're going to dive into what happens in campaign 1 if we find 2 winners, let's say, right? We want to be able to dictate that data. What's going to dictate that? Well, if the CTRs were high and CPCs were low, and we had good cost per lead, okay, cost per leads were good, and ROI was good, that would predicate a winner of these 2 assets. So I circled these 2 in green. Let's say C2, okay, and C3 were clear winners. We were spending $30 a day on this one, 30% on this one, because the average cost per lead for this example is $30. I want to make sure that the average becomes the ad set budget here and the ad set budget here daily. If these 2 are winners, that means that I spent $60 a day. $60 a day is great. Okay. If I want to scale upon this, I'm just going to double down on the winners. So now I'm going to take these 2 and turn them into campaign 2. Now I'm going to use a CBO with Advantage Plus, and I'm going to set it to $75 a day, a little bit over the $60 a day. And I'm just going to take these 2 and isolate them. And I'm going to put the ad account spending limits on $30 a day each. Okay, so that if I'm spending $75 a day, it's going to spend my 30 and spend my 30. The last $15 is going to get spent to the clear winner. Now, if you're wondering, well, I'm spending $75 a day, how do I increase my spend? I'll go through that very quickly. Okay. I always do 15-20% increases weekly. I do those increases at night. Okay. I do them at midnight, not at 9 o'clock at night because I spend all the money before midnight. I do it at midnight, 12:01 a.m. I'll increase it $75 to 90, 90 to 110, 110 to 130, 130 to 150, 150 to 200. That's how I'll scale that weekly. So I'm not pushing the algo too hard. Now there's other tests like you see here that you can make. Okay. Let's say you want to find the best ad copy. Okay. We would have an ABO here, ABO 2, ABO 3, still do broad, but we are going to take from this campaign here, C2 or C3, which one did the best? Okay. Let's say C2 did the best. If C2 did the best, we're going to put C2 here, and C2 here. And this is a great example. I'm not changing the creative. Now I have 3 ad sets doing the same target with the same creative. But Wojo, what's the thing we're testing? We're now going to be testing the copy. Copy A, copy B, copy C. And then we get to find the clear winner of what's the best copy. We don't want to test 3 controls at once because we don't know which one's the winner. It's like science. They don't test more than 1 control at once. My dad was a scientist. They did not test more than 1 control at a time because we want to know what the clear winner is to move forward with proven KPIs. Okay. So just some quick budgeting tips for everybody. Okay. Like I said, 15% increases weekly at midnight. Okay. 15 to 20%, give or take. Okay. Your ad set budgets need to be around your average cost per conversion or cost per lead. That could be cost per purchase, cost per lead. It could be cost per application, cost per schedule, whatever that looks like. You got to set your ad set budgets to that average. Okay. Last thing is use tracking like Hyros. to dictate what's a winner and what is not. I use Hyros to find exactly which ad set is making me the money. If I don't know the ad set that's making me the money, then I don't know which one's actually winning. Okay, let's say I had ad set 1 and ad set 2. Okay, let's say I was paying $30 per lead here and $42 a lead here. Okay, which one's a winner if my ROAS here is a 3x and my ROAS here is a 5x? Which one is the clear winner? Okay, obviously it's ad set 2, but we turned off ad set 2 because we only looked at cost per lead. If I paid 12 more bucks for a lead here, okay, that's still not enough to turn the campaign off. This $42 per lead is outperforming the $30 a lead. So I'm going to keep the $42 a lead on, and then what I'm going to wind up doing is doing more creative tests, okay, doing more copy tests to get my cost per lead down while I have an ROI positive campaign. That's the difference in this whole framework, is that if you're not checking this through Hyros, I'll spell it up here, HYROS, you're now going to have issues with turning off campaigns like this that are actually generating the ROI, and you kept these on, but these were actually lower. So you're ruining your top line revenue by simply not looking at the back end ad. So now we're finding winners. We're finding creative winners. We're finding copy winners. The audience has not changed. The only way the audience would change is if you start scaling past $200 a day, and that's where you're going to want to implement retargeting, which is going to be 20% of that budget, which is about $40 a day at a $200 a day. Now, if we're focused on scaling winners and finding new creatives, this is where we're going to come to this exact screen, okay? If we're moving winners to scaling campaigns, we want to find the winning creative and the winning copy. And this is what your scaling campaign is going to look like at $1,000 a day. If we're at $1,000 a day, keep in mind, we're still running, these two campaigns, and you're probably spending about $200 a day there, right? And then we're doing tests, another $100 a day there. And then we're going into scaling. We're around $1,500 a day going into the scaling campaign right now. And for us to get to the stage is about 3 weeks of like runtime. So that means this budget could be a lot higher because we're increasing it 15-20% weekly. 20% of 1,000 is $200. We give you $2,500 a day now, easily, as long as we have winning KPIs. Okay, so now we're going to $1,000 a day CBO where we took ad set 1 from a test and put winning copy and creative in here. Winning copy and creative here, winning copy, creative here. And down the row from all of our testing, we have found winning copies and creatives. Now from there, we want all of these to run and test against each other. We want to find what are our clear winners here to then scale further. So now if I find my clear winners, like ad set 2, ad set 5, ad set 7, ad set 9, okay, those are the winners. But these here, like 3, 4, 6, 8, and 1, they can still be doing decently well, just not as good as, 2, 5, 7, and 9. What we're going to do with these ad sets is take them and isolate each one. So ad set 2, we're going to isolate in separate campaigns at $1,000 a day. So now ad set 2 is going to have this exact structure, spending $1,000 a day on its own. No other ad sets. One ad set, one copy, one creative. Ad set 5 will take that same path. Ad set 7 will take the same path. Ad set 9 will take the same path. And now we're spending $2,500 a day, $3,500, $4,500, $5,500, $6,500, and we keep testing. And that is the way that I would scale to $15,000 a day. Now, if you're an established business owner, coach, consultant, service pro, course, or info seller, and you want us to install this framework inside of your business, I would love to have a chat. So click the link in the description. It's a Calendly link to book a call on my senior advisor's 45-minute discovery call to see how this is going to work inside of the business. Cost per leads, KPIs, your offer, stacks, show rates, close rates, all that fun jazz, so that we know this is a good fit. Now, on top of that, if you're in the e-com space, it's the same structure I would use as well. The only difference with e-com is that you're focusing on only ROAS. Like CPCs and CTRs are great, but ROAS dictates all the data, and then you're scaling with UGC. And then you're scaling with multiple traffic sources, Google, Facebook, Instagram, and then you have TikTok too. You TikTok Shop. You can do all these other traffic sources, Facebook Shop, all these things to really branch out your traffic sources. So I hope you enjoyed this video, me breaking this down. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.